morning, and good morning from the Buzzard Way. After my aborted trip to the Lake District where I left Wainwright's remote Lakeland Trail because of weather, and incidentally I did check the forecast several times after I'd left and I made the right decision, with strong winds and heavy rain over the next few days which would have not been easy while camping. Because I'd set aside a fortnight, I've got a week spare now. So I've come to do the Buzzard Way, which is a newly created unwaymarked route that explores the eastern South Wales valleys. It's been created by a YouTuber called Kev Arscott, who's known as the Walking Kev. And he's done an enormous amount of work in creating this route. He's got a fabulous website with lots of points of interest along the way. He provides GPX files and he's done a really good job. So it's about 91 miles long and I've set aside 5 days to do this. Yeah, a lot of it's going to be very familiar to me. I know these hills very well, but fair play to him. He's put a route together on paths that he likes walking. So I'm looking forward to following his footsteps, and I hope you enjoy the route too. Kev's website provides lots of interesting information, points of interest if you like, along the way. This is Gelfie Mill, and what I didn't know was that in 1912, a guy called Artie Moore lived here. Now, Artie had had an accident, lost his leg, which had been amputated, and he got into radios. And on the night the Titanic sank, he was listening to the CQDs and the SOS from the Titanic. He became so concerned that he went to the local police station and they all laughed at him and said, "That's ridiculous, that ship it's unsinkable, it can't be sunk." Artie was proved right though. I'm currently not unhappy. Today was forecast to be the hottest day of the year so far, if not one of the hottest. So I left home early this morning on the metro to Hengoed. £3 that journey. You don't hear me praising government very often, but Welsh Government have done a great job with the contract they required of Transport for Wales, and the tap on tap off metro in South Wales, it's a game changer. It means so many more people are going to travel on the train. So give it a go if you haven't done so far. It's really, really cheap and good value. Anyway, it's clouded over. So I got here nice and early. It was warm when I started, but there's a lovely breeze up here. It's clouded over. It's gorgeous temperature. So from Mynydd Lan, where I spoke to the camera last, descended down to Abercarn and then walked to Cwmcarn Visitor Centre, which is on the site of an old colliery. Enjoyed a coffee and cake there, and now I'm on the steep climb up to Pegwyn y Bwlch, where I'll join the Cambrian Way, and then up to Tumbalum, and this will be the biggest climb I have today. Sadly, the cloud has disappeared and it's all a bit warm again, but I'll take my time. Busy up here today. It's a wonderful location here at Tumbalum. I'm just reflecting on when I first visited it, and it was in late spring 2000 with the family. We just moved to the area and we were exploring our surroundings and came up here, and the views just blew me away. Today the views towards Cardiff are not very good. It's very hazy, but it's a 360 panorama. I can see right up the Severn Estuary towards where I live, my village near the second Severn crossing. Got Newport below me, Cwmbran ahead of me, and then to my left you can see the Ebbw Valley, where I'm going to be in the next couple of days, and beyond that, although the views are very hazy, towards Bannau Brycheiniog. It's just a stunning location. great place to sit here and just look at the views. Ooh, it's warm now, and I've been sitting in the shade for the last half an hour or so. Just gone through Buzzard, and I needed some water. Saw a tap on the side of Buzzard's farm. Knocked on the door, but there's no reply, so I helped myself to my bottles. So I'm going up this hill now, up onto the open moorland, and it means that I'm flexible. It means I've got the water I need for this evening and for tomorrow morning. So make a decision when I find a suitable location. I've done over 19 miles, and I was thinking of stopping on the hill above the Torvine Canyon. And I went up to have a look. Very, very thistly though. So I'm now descending into the canyon, and we'll continue for another couple of miles before I can put my tent down. It's only 6 o'clock, so plenty of time. Torvine Canyon's not quite on the par with the Grand Canyon. And there's the Blue Lagoon, although it's looking rather green today, in the Torvine Canyon. This is St Illtyd's Church, and it's the oldest building in the Blaenau Gwent area. When it was originally consecrated, it was dedicated to St Huledd. The town below Llanhilleth takes its name from that saint. Well, that was a monster day, but the tent is up. It is 10 to 9. I'm at the trig point at the very southern end of Coity Mountain, and on arrival here I met a lovely guy called Wayne. Forever in the Hills is his channel. He's got a website as well. He's a recovering addict, and he now spends his time climbing mountains, so we had a lot in common. He's just done the Cambrian Way, so nice to meet you, Wayne. I hope you get to see this video. My day, 24 miles from Hengoed today. I was planning on putting the tent down at about 19 miles, but where I was, you couldn't see the thistles, but they were in the grass, really quite sharp, and I thought that I would end up piercing my thermarest, so I didn't bother. So another few miles and we are now here. So lovely evening, cracking views. See you tomorrow. Good morning, and good morning from day 2 on the Buzzard Way. My camp spot last night was really quite nice. I had lovely views over towards the Severn Estuary, and watched the sun go down directly behind Penavan and Corndee. So yeah, it was very nice. I've woken up this morning to a cloudier day, a bit cooler, which I'm pleased with. I didn't sleep so well last night, and I think that was because of the heat that affected me yesterday, and the longer distance that I had to do as well. But my day today consists of walking north along Coity Mountain towards Mulvran, down to Nantyglo, then up onto Mynydd Carnarcleven, and then I'm going to drop down towards Ebervale, climb up to Adomon, and then I'd like to get beyond Tredegar today if I can, but we will see. But I'm going to enjoy the day and the lovely views. Well, I'm on the top of Mulvran, and I must confess, I've never been here before. Whenever I've come along the Coity Ridge to descend to Nantyglo, I've gone via Mulvran Farm. So, well done, Kev, for bringing me to a new location. So Nantyglo is now behind me. I popped into the local shop and got myself a coffee and bought some water. That's the challenge of this trip. All the water sources on the hills are dry, so I need to fill up in towns and either knock on people's doors or use a shop. But now I'm starting the climb up to Carnarvon, and today the temperature's quite nice actually. Slightly muggy, but very, very pleasant. Well, it's lunchtime and it's the usual wrap with peanut butter and some banana chips, and I'm overlooking the Ebba Vale and Garden City, and this is my view with Idommen Vawr opposite, which is where I'm going next. The Buzzard Way takes an interesting route from one side of the Ebba Valley to the other, and I'm currently walking through what was part of the old steelworks site. Huge area. Now it's been redeveloped, and I've just walked past the Bevan Hospital. It was part funded by European Union money, which is ironic when you bear in mind that the population of Ebba Vale voted to leave. I'm at the summit of Idommen Vawr, 504 metres above sea level, with lovely views to the north, stretching right round to Bannau Brycheiniog and Pennevan and Corndee. During the Second World War there was a lookout tower here to protect the steelworks which are below, and all that's left now are the concrete bases. So I've come over from Idommen Vawr. I'm now entering the Sahawi Valley. Walk past a good reservoir above the town of Tredegar, and I'm now walking into Tredegar, where I'm hoping Bedwellty House Cafe is open. This is Cefn Cholera Cemetery. There's another cemetery a little bit further back there, but in 1832 this cemetery was created for the victims of cholera. Conditions in and around the Tredegar ironworks are dreadful, and an outbreak took place in 1832, but a worse outbreak took place in 1849, and there are more people buried in this cholera cemetery from 1849 than there were from the original 1832 outbreak. That was a very pleasant hour spent here. I've had a wash as well. But I just met a local man from Tredegar, and that's what I love about backpacking. He sees the rucksack, we have a chat, then we're talking about mutual acquaintances. I used to work up here from 2012 until about 2014. And yeah, we've had a good old chat. Mike Edwards his name is, and I think he's very well known in Tredegar. It's about 7 o'clock and I've been at this location for about an hour and a half and no one's come through. I'm on the eastern side of Mynydd Bedwellty, directly overlooking the Sahawi Valley. And on the far side I can see Idommen Vawr, where I was earlier this afternoon. I can see Mynydd Carnarvon, which I climbed up to after leaving Nantyglo, and on the far horizon Coity Mountain, where I started my journey this morning. 19 miles I've done. There's a slight breeze here. It's a lovely location. And tomorrow I'm going to head towards the Rocking Stone, which I can see from my location, a lovely rocky outcrop that gives fantastic views over the Sahawi. But for the moment, I can sit here, read my book and just watch the world go by. Well, good morning from day 3 on my Buzzard Way, and this is the Rocking Stone. I camped on the hill just behind me, and I was looking at the Rocking Stone last night, and it's a fantastic location to look over the Sahari Valley with Tredegar at the head there behind me. Today I leave here and head down to Phillipstown, and then up over the mountain and down to Parc Cwmdarren, where I will hopefully get a cup of coffee in the visitor centre. First proper overgrown path that I've come across on the Buzzard Way. Not easy. This is the site of Bannau Brycheiniog. It was a medieval church here which was demolished in the 1960s, and when it was demolished, a cross-incised stone was found underneath which dates to the 10th or 11th century. But more interestingly, and more importantly perhaps, just outside the footprint of the church is a monument now that denotes the Tredegar stone. That is believed to be a 6th or 7th century stone, which was removed in 1923 and taken to the National Museum of Wales. But really important location, clearly the site of early Christian development. And this is the exact location of the now removed Tredegar stone. I've just done my second climb of the day, having climbed out of Parc Cwmdarren, where I spent a very pleasant 40 minutes eating carrot cake and drinking coffee. But I'm now on Tredegar Common, and Tredegar Common is absolutely stuffed full of history. The Romans built a road over it. There are house platforms where farmers used to live during the summer months when they used to bring their animals up to the pastures, and there's evidence of early Christianity as well. It's got the lot, and we're going to visit it all. This is usually a very reliable water source, incredibly low, not flowing at all, manky as hell. Thankfully there's a shop in Tredegar. It's just after 3 o'clock on day 3, and I'm taking a break in the cemetery at Tredegar, sat in the shade. The sun is nowhere near as hot as it was on day 1, but it is beating down, and I just want a relief from that sun for a little while, with the added bonus that at 4:30 the chip shop opens, so I'll definitely be getting a meal. Evening of day 3, I'm on Cefn Eglwysillyn, 22.6 miles today, and I'm glad I had a meal in Tredegar. For what it's worth, it was 2 faggots, mushy peas, gravy and chips. But it meant that I didn't have to carry an extra 2 litres of water up the hill to Bannau Brycheiniog. I found that quite hard the last couple of days, carrying all the water up onto the hill, so it was nice to not have to carry the full lot today. So now I just have what I would have had for lunchtime now, and I've got a nice spot here. Not my favourite hills, these two, Cefn and Bannau Brycheiniog. A lot of off-roading up here, although not at the moment. A lot of litter, fly tipping. I just don't find them very inspirational, despite the fact that the views from them are fantastic. You can't grumble about the views, but I just don't love these hills. So pleased with what I've done. Tomorrow I head into the Taff Valley.
Important that we have a show of unity now in the UK government and the willingness to address those issues. So I think there's plenty of time, weeks even.
Good morning, and good morning from day 4 on my Buzzard Way journey. I'm on Tredegar Sealand, walking towards the trig point now, and I got a view due south, and I'm looking at Penarth. I can even see the barrage at the bay with Flat Home and Steep Home in the sea as well. So lovely views, lovely day, warm again. Don't know how far I'm going to get, but I suspect this is my, well, I know this is my penultimate day. It's all a case of where do I put my tent down tonight. Blimey neck, it's warm, and it's only 20 past 8 in the morning. I'm just approaching Mynydd Mayo. Take my time today, although I know that the second half is going to be quite wooded and shady, so quite looking forward to that. Well, I can enjoy peace and quiet again. Crossing the A468 near Caerphilly was tricky. Very kind drivers, but it's a fast road, you've got to be careful. Anyway, a little bit of old railway line walking now, and then I've got probably the steepest climb of the day, up to Tredegar in the sun. Tredegar is a fine viewpoint. I'm looking across the sea towards Exmoor and the Quantocks, right round towards Weston-super-Mare and Clevedon, and this side of the sea I can see as far as Aberthaw. Then I can see Penarth, the bay, the Millennium Stadium and the city of Cardiff. It's a really fine viewpoint. Right, that was Caerphilly Mountain, and now I'm heading east and get into the woods and eat some of the weight on my back. Oh my goodness me, you're looking at a man with absolutely no willpower. My rucksack's still the same weight. My belly's probably about a kilo heavier. I couldn't stop. I went to the Caerphilly Mountain snack bar, loaded breakfast roll with a cup of coffee. £5.49. Flipping heck. I'm so full. Having temporarily joined the Cambria Way and then left it, the Buzzard Way brings you to Craig Lisvane. And at the top are these little structures. They hide a secret. Underneath is a nuclear bunker that was created during the Cold War should the UK have suffered a nuclear strike, and this would have formed part of the command and control structure. This is Ripera Castle, completed in 1626 by Sir Thomas Morgan. King Charles I also stayed here, but in the Second World War it hosted troops, and due to faulty wiring it caught fire and was gutted. It's never been repaired since, and it would be a shame if it was never restored to its former glory. Gotta say that was refreshing, but I made sure I kept my face out of the water. God knows what's in there, but my body feels a lot cleaner and I'm a lot cooler. Well, I enjoyed a good feed in Machen I stopped there and got my stove out and ate well. And now I'm on the last big climb of my Buzzard Way journey as I head up towards Mynydd Machyn, and it is my plan to put my tent down on this hill somewhere tonight. Won't be staying on Mynydd Machyn. It's very crowded. A group of young lads up there, I think they're in for a couple of hours. So I'm going to keep plodding on until I can find a suitable and quiet spot to put my tent. Pitches don't get better than this one, and sometimes the best camps are the ones that aren't planned. As I said earlier, too busy on Mynydd Machyn, so I've walked off in the general direction of where I need to be going tomorrow, towards Mynydd Brycheiniog. And there's a big spoil tip on Mynydd Machyn, and I'm on the spoil tip. I found a lovely plateau. There's no evidence of bikes or off-roaders coming through here, and I've got a great view right across to Cardiff, again the estuary, right round to Portishead. Oh, it's just so good. So I had my dinner in Machyn, 22.4 miles today. I guess I've got less than 9 miles to go, and I'll do that tomorrow morning. Good morning, and good morning from day 5 of my Buzzard Way journey. That was a superb camp spot last night. I said last night it was a great location. It truly was, and I would definitely stay there again. That was just so good. The views were amazing. But it's my last day on my Buzzard Way journey. I haven't got many miles to go, and I'm going to walk now towards Mynydd Brycheiniog and then drop down to Cuppa and get down to Hengoed, where I'm going to catch the train back home. I'm not going to say anything more to the camera. I'm going to talk briefly now about my thoughts on the Buzzard Way. I think it's a really good walk, and the walking Kev, he's done a great job with creating this route. It explores the eastern valleys in a wonderful way. The ridge tops are great to visit. I knew that's why I fancy doing it. But he's put it together in such a way that it visits great places, and there are plenty of opportunities to wild camp this route, and there are lots of opportunities as evidence to eat food. You don't have to carry 4 days worth of food. You can resupply day by day. There's always somewhere you can buy food in a local convenience store or buy food at a local cafe. So from that perspective, it's great. What more can I say? You need good weather. It's a high level route. If you get bad weather, that could clearly radically alter your experience of the route. But to my mind, it's got everything bar one thing. One thing it hasn't got for me. I haven't seen one buzzard. Can you believe that? Not one buzzard. Unbelievable. Maybe I'll see one today on my way back to Hengoed. But for the moment, I'll finish this film with shots of my last few miles, and with all my videos. I'd like to thank you if you've got this far. Thank you for watching.